What's up, beauty marks? So I want to talk to you guys today about how to handle your life after a breakup. It's hard because people always say, oh, just move on, get over it, you'll be fine. Or maybe you have friends that are just like telling you, oh, you're not really over it. Man, he's a good guy. How'd you lose him? We have people in our ears when we're going through breakups, and then we have to deal with our own feelings when we're by ourselves. And I don't know about you guys, but typically after a breakup, the first 2 or 3 days, I am on my high and mighty. I am like, it's fine. I don't need him. I'm out and about. I'm at the gym. I'm trying to work on my body. I'm trying to get back right because, I mean, listen, bad relationships do a number on your self-esteem, right? Or relationships in general, not having that person anymore, you're going to feel like you possibly have done something wrong, right? And that's a trigger. So I don't know what day it is for you that it kicks in that you actually have to feel your feelings. For me, it's typically day 2 or 3. So I want to talk to you guys today about a few tips that I used to help me get through breakups because they're not easy. Let's talk about it. The first thing I do typically after a breakup is I get myself really busy. And I know you're gonna watch this and say to yourself, well, that's not healthy. But for me, I found that not worrying about that person's whereabouts was extremely hard. How hard is it to not go on Instagram or Facebook or wherever and try to see if they've posted any subliminal messages about you, or to text them, or to wait for them to text you? It's very nerve-wracking, right? And you need something to do in the meantime, so I keep myself busy. So tip number 1, keep yourself busy. And busy in a way that is productive for you. Go to the gym, get some exercise in. Go have lunch by yourself. You don't need any outside influence right now. You're fresh out of a relationship. Read a book, watch your favorite movies. Do something that keeps you busy and keep your phone on silent if you can. Just keep the interactions to a bare minimum because you really don't need any advice right after a breakup. Whether people are telling you they're happy that you got out of that or they're telling you you should have stayed in it. You don't need all the chatter fresh out of a relationship. So I say tip number 1, get busy. Something for you. Go to the gym. Take a nap. Just relax your mind or go do something with your body and keep yourself busy. Days 1 through 3. Or however long you need to. For me, it's typically the first 3 days. I just need to stay busy. The second thing that I like to do right after a breakup, well, not like to do, but the thing that I do after a breakup is I start to think about how I'm going to plan my days now. And I restructure my next day because the day of, you're hurt, you know? I restructure my next day without them in it. As hard as that sounds. I write it out. I'm like, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do my own thing. I got to go to work today. After work, I'm going to do A, B, C, D, and E until it's time to go to bed. We've got to start getting our mind around the daily to-day life without this person. Because once upon a time, this person was a part of your life. They were your good morning text. They were your good night phone call. They were the person you text on your lunch break. They were who you met up with around 6 o'clock. They were who you told your day to. They were who you planned your holidays with. Studies show that you feel like you're grieving the loss of a person, but this person is still alive. Like they're still out here and you're grieving the loss of them in your life. It's not easy. So you have to realize that now life will look a lot more different, and that's okay, but it's not easy. So start planning your day-to-day life in real structured form so that you don't feel the disappointment of another 24 going by and you don't hear from this person. You've already filled those gaps in with something else to do. So start planning your life the very next day without that person in it. The sooner you get over this situation, the better. There's no need to prolong this and continue to sit around and wait for something to happen that may not even happen, and it may not even need to happen. This next tip, we have to let our heart break. You have to let your heart break. You have to feel your feelings, and that's hard. I don't know what day you're going to do that. You know, typically for me, it flows like this. Days 1 through 3, I am on my, keeping myself busy. I am planning my day without that person with very little expectation that they'll reach out to me, and I'm not going to reach out to them because it's over. But it doesn't negate the fact that I'm hurting, you know, and I do miss people. You miss people even when they're not good to you because you're used to them. But we're grieving the loss of not the person, but we're grieving the loss of the hope we had about that person. You hoped that they were going to be in your life forever. You saw them in a good light at one point. You saw them as that person for you. You saw your family with them. You saw the trips. You know, like, who wants to keep re-meeting new people? I know I don't. I hate the dating phase of, hey, so what's your favorite color? And the first date and the first kiss and all that stuff is just like, you want to find the person you've already done that with and you want them to stick around. After you've kept yourself busy, learned how to restructure your day without that person in it, and finally felt your feelings and had the big cry, the next thing I want you to do is begin your transformation. Once you looked in the mirror, had your pep talk, once you've had your big cry, once you vented, you need to have that moment where you say, all right, I'm ready for the new me. I'm ready for the next round. This is what life is about. We lose jobs, we lose friends, we lose relationships, we lose so much in life. And if we stay stuck where that ends, we'll never move forward, right? This relationship is no different. Now that this person's no longer in your life, that's another lesson you've learned. Because there's things in that relationship, like we said before, that you've ignored. So now the transformation begins. And honestly, once you get started on this, it is a very beautiful time in your life. I ain't gonna lie, some of my best looks, body, hair, nails, skin, and money came right after a breakup. It was almost like God was like, I can't bring this person into the next blessing I have for you. So until you finally see what I've been showing you and release this situation, now I can release that next blessing. I remember I got done dealing with a guy and like the next day I booked a TV show. Literally the next day. And, you know, I'm not saying that it was because I left him, but it kind of felt like that's what it was. I don't know. But I say this because we have to learn that in the transformation phase, it's not easy at first. But if you write down your new goals for yourself, you can have your selfish season. You don't have anyone else to think about anymore. Now you are focused back on you. Because when we get into relationships, let's be real, as women, don't we put so much into our relationships? We literally plan our weekends around if he makes plans with us. We plan holidays around them. We planned our weekday schedule around them. We might even skip a gym session if he wants to hang out. We do a lot of compromising when we're in relationships, as we should. That's what a relationship is. When you love someone, you do compromise. But now you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have anyone else to think about except for yourself and your own goals. So get into your transformation phase. Start working out, start taking care of yourself, start going to bed on time, start eating better. Because let's be real, when you're in a relationship, aren't you eating terrible? I know I do. I'm snacking and all types of things because you're enjoying yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we're talking about what you do after a breakup. Embrace the new transformation phase. Go for that job now. Maybe it's a job that you wanted across the country. You didn't take it because you were in a relationship and you didn't want to leave. Travel. Go do things by yourself. Go enjoy your life and level up, because now it's the time for you to embrace this woman, because you have experience now in this type of relationship that you just got out of. Now you know what you don't want. Now you know what you're not going to accept. You have to learn from this relationship before you get into the next one. You got to heal from this relationship. You're not going to be like all healed in one day because you let him go. Recognize what went wrong. Recognize what went wrong, because you had a place in this too. And realize that why that felt that way to you. We all have non-negotiables. Why did that bother you so much? Is there an area you need to heal? That's part of the transformation. You take that time to heal yourself, feel better about yourself, and level up. Breakups don't have to be the end all be all. They don't have to keep you down so low you start doing things that you're going to regret later. We're not calling him again. We're not texting him asking for closure. We're not doing that. Closure is just an excuse to get right back into the same situation you just got out of. I think I'm going to make a video about that, because closure, it's just like asking for round 10. You don't need closure. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. That's your closure. But this is the time in your life for you to be selfish. But the truth of the matter is you have to just feel your heartbreak, feel your feelings, cry, write it down. Don't do the subliminal posting and trying to let him know how you feel. Stop it. That's so immature. Grown women, we are keeping it moving, but we don't negate the fact that we've been hurt. That's what we don't do. We're not going to pretend like you didn't make me feel some type of way. We're not going to pretend that when you did that, that didn't hurt me. So I say you have to let yourself feel your feelings. And what that looks like for a lot of us is honestly putting a mirror up and saying, how did I let this happen? What was I thinking when I allowed that? Because at some point you had that woman intuition that lets you know that stuff wasn't right. You knew those late night calls that he, was getting on his phone while y'all were together. You knew that wasn't right. You knew on the weekends when he only could spend Friday with you and not Saturday and Sunday, you knew something wasn't right. You knew that he wasn't serious. You knew he was non-committal. You knew you pushed this relationship and he didn't really want it. You knew you were accepting things you didn't want to accept. You knew all of these things. And we do this as women. We think we can change someone or we can love someone so much that they'll be perfect for us, but we can't. We can. You got to meet people where they're at. And if that's what you want to accept, that's what you're going to get. Can't change someone and make someone ready for what they're not ready for. How brave of you to get out of something that wasn't working and finally releasing it. Forgive yourself. You did nothing wrong. Who hasn't lived and made some kind of mistake? This is now your wisdom. This is the stuff you'll share with young women around you or your daughter one day or whatever. You'll say, I put up with this and it led me to this. I allowed this for so long and look at what happened. This is something you now take into the new version of yourself that you will never put up with again. You will never. Because you realize how much time was spent in this situation with someone and it didn't even end up being marriage or anything for you. And we don't have time to be dating people where it doesn't lead to anything. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. But who hasn't lived and made a mistake? Your mistakes give you wisdom. You don't know everything about everyone when you meet them. It takes time to get to know somebody and see that maybe they're not a good fit for you. But now we're going to start making these decisions for ourselves a lot faster, right? We're not going to date someone for 6 months knowing that month 1 we saw what we needed to see. We don't have time for that. You don't have time. Time is so valuable. Like I always say, it's our most valuable currency. Okay? So I want you to focus on this week, if you're going through a breakup, getting back to yourself, getting back into you, loving on you. Go pamper yourself. Have a you day. Go get your nails done. If you can't pay for your nails to get done and hair to get done, go deep condition your hair and go put some, get some nail strengthener from the store and paint your own nails in a pretty pink color or whatever colors you like. Do your own hair and makeup. Go to the mall. Find a cute little outfit for yourself. Look polished when you walk out the door this week. Feel good about yourself. Go clean your car out. Go buy some new perfume or make sure you have good perfume on when you go out. Be incredible. Feel good about you, because we don't want this to be the part of your life where you say, oh my God, this person didn't love me and now I'm in a slump. No. This is lesson learned. I know I'm a great catch. I could still work on some things, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to work on myself, and this is how I'm going to treat me from now on. I will not allow A, B, C, D, and E ever again. I know who I am. That's how you get over your breakup, and that's how you get through your breakup. We're gonna cry for just some limited time, 1, 2, 3 days maximum. But you're gonna pick yourself back up, dust it off, dust the dust off from the dusty. And you're gonna say, I know who I am, okay? And I will not tolerate anything less than what I know I deserve. Okay, beauty mark. So I want you guys to go into the week loving on you, and I love you too. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.